What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Second Passport. Today, we're going to take a look at several foods, very common, that you should not trust if you see them offered in Ecuador. Probably foods that you're used to eating all the time in your home country. And I'm going to try to explain why, but before I get into it, I've noticed whenever I talk anything less than nice or rosy about Ecuador, I get a lot of hate from the masses online. And that's fine. I don't really care. But I do want to mention first some foods you really should try. And the fact that I do think that Ecuadorian food is flat out amazing. I think it's the best in the world. I really do. But you got to know what to eat, right? When in Rome, right, you eat the pizza, you eat the pastas, you eat the wine, drink the wines. When in Ecuador, in my opinion, you eat the seafood, right? Eat the seafood. Trust me, like the ceviches you see on the screen. If you say, oh, ceviche, I had that in Mexico. No, it's totally different. I've tried the ceviche in Mexico. It's totally different than an Ecuadorian style ceviche. And even a Peruvian style to Ecuadorian style, it's very different. The Ecuadorian style is like a lighter soup and a more lemony taste to it, and I like it. I prefer it, actually. Maybe because I've lived here, but anyway, this is what you see right here. Definitely want to try it. But one thing you might want to tell people is to hold the salt, because some people who make ceviche in Ecuador, they load that salt in there, and it's not necessary with the lime, in my opinion. Just tell them, hold the salt, no sal, por favor, and I think you're going to enjoy it even more. Right, but some places really know how to make it, and you don't have that problem at all with the salt. Shrimp in general, like this was my plate the other day here, fried shrimp, $5.50. Super fresh, often never been frozen, especially when you're on the coast of Ecuador. The shrimp's never been frozen, and just straight from the fisherman deck to your plate. Here's another one of my favorite dishes. This was my lunch the other day for $7. Encocado shrimp, encocado. It's like a coconut-based curry, and it's served sometimes with a little bit of salad. There's no salad on this plate, which is often the case in Ecuador. But if you do you got to be careful, because a lot of places that make the encocado or the coconut curry with different seafoods, you can get it with fish or shrimp or assorted seafood, or even with chicken, and it's really good. Especially with rice, but you can get it spicy too, but it's not common that it's spicy. You kind of have to add your own spice, but you have to make sure people do it the right way, and a lot of times, even here in Ecuador, they won't. The right way is just pure coconut milk makes up the sauce, right? Along with a refrito, they say, of onion, bell peppers, and garlic. Gives it a really nice flavor. But some people will make it the wrong way, the lazy way, with milk cream, right? They say crema de leche down here, and they'll put coconut essence in it to give it that coconut flavor. Ugh, it's horrible. I don't like it. Not a fan. So anyway, make sure they do it right. You can even ask them, tiene leche? Does it have milk? And if it doesn't, then they're doing it right before you order it. So, encocado de camarón. Wow. Now let's get into the things that Ecuador people don't do well, right? In general, right? And that's pizza, especially the pizza, like these little places you find on the street here. I had a picture, but I just lost it to show you what I mean. But it's really sometimes greasy and nasty and soggy. And they sell them sometimes, these little square pieces, for like 50 cents or $1 to locals. And I guess they like it because these places that I see stay in business. But it's really hit and miss, the pizza in Ecuador. I actually prefer the chain pizzas in Ecuador. The Domino's, the Papa John's. I think they're actually the best that are down here, unfortunately. I've found some exceptions here and there that, okay, not bad pizza, but I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I'm from, and we have a large Italian American population. So I've had some really good pizza, and the best pizza obviously are not the chains in a place like Cleveland, Ohio. So I'm just saying, just saying. Don't trust the pizza. Only buy it if it's not a chain, if it comes recommended. Same with hot dogs, and it's too bad because I like hot dogs. I haven't had a hot dog I liked in the 7 or almost 8 years that I've lived in Ecuador. They're really nasty and just artificial and cheap, and they don't know a good hot dog if it hit them in their face, I swear. I'm used to those beef frankfurters that even my dad orders online back in the States. And, you see the ends here that kind of wrinkle up and crack, and it's just, and you bite into them and they're almost juicy on the inside. In the States, I mean, sometimes. You can get some really good ones in the U.S., but down here, ugh. Hamburgers are the same thing. I mean, they're hit and miss. If they come recommended, fine, from another expat, then you could try it. There's a few good ones out there, but for the most part, the hamburgers they make in Ecuador are disgusting, especially the ones that you buy like from those little carts in the streets when you go out to bars and stuff. They're really, really nasty. I think the best ones are McDonald's and Burger King, actually. Occasionally, you'll find a place that thinks they do really good hamburgers, and they charge like $9-12 for a hamburger, but it's not that good. I mean, we're from the States. It's another level. There's levels to this. Bread, right? Pastries. You can get a recommendation from an expat, maybe, and find some good pastries in Ecuador here and there, but generally speaking, the pastries they make in these little panaderias or bread shops on the street are just not good. The bread is dull and bland and lifeless and tasteless, and it's hard where it's supposed to be soft, and it's soft where it's supposed to be hard, and it's just easy. It's actually a good thing for those of us who want to keep the weight off, so you don't feel bad about you don't even have to go in there. There's no draw. Even the empanadas, the locally made stuff they do here, a lot of people refer to them as like empty promises, right? You bite into them and it's just air. Maybe a little pea will fall out of it. Or Mexican food, surprisingly, is very different from Ecuadorian food, right? You might not know that if you group all Latin Americans together, but it's very different. And I've lived in Chihuahua with a friend of mine in northern Mexico. It's a city, Chihuahua, with him and his Mexican mom who cooked for him every day. Amazing food, and it's totally different from Tex-Mex, what we're used to in the States. Both Tex-Mex and Mexican I love, but almost every time I've tried it here in Ecuador, I've been disappointed. A lot of people think they can do it, but they just can't. Maybe they read some recipes online or something. The guacamole in Ecuador, you want to be careful because it's not like it should be. Like we're looking at the screen here and getting hungry. It's oftentimes that liquidy stuff that comes in one of those plastic bottles like ketchup, and they squeeze it on their food, and it's really lemony and a little salty and liquidy. And that's kind of what most Ecuadorians think is guacamole, but it's not. This is definitely guacamole. Ketchup. You want to be careful with the ketchup in Ecuador that also comes in those bottles because it's not the Heinz. It's hard to find Heinz in Ecuador if you can find it. It's liquidy and sweet and just gross. I mean, it's nasty. Steaks. You can find places here and there in Ecuador that do meats decent, but I'm from Cleveland and I went to school in Montana, where Montana has the best ribeyes and the best steaks you could ever imagine. Just so soft and tender. And it's hard to find that in Ecuador, so I don't even bother. I almost never order red meat, and I've even stopped eating red meat here in Ecuador. It's just easy to avoid. It's not that good. It's tough. They'll often serve you thin. It's real paper thin and tough, and it's very seasoned sometimes, too seasoned, too salty, and they just don't do that good a job in general down here, right? And when you do find a place that's decent at cooking steak, often you'll order almost always, and it never comes cooked like you like it. It's always, you tell them one thing, and it always comes too cooked or often too undercooked. Lasagna, very hit and miss in Ecuador. I've been disappointed a lot, so I've just stopped ordering it when I see it, unless it comes recommended, right? If it comes recommended by, especially another expat who knows what good lasagna is, then it might be a decent option. It normally comes like in Ecuador, they think they can do it, but it comes like really watery and soggy and creamy. Ugh. Italian food, yes, I'm from Cleveland, where we have some amazing, like 15 course local Italian restaurants that are just amazing, right? And I've been to Italy too, where obviously the Italian food there is obviously amazing as well. And ever since I tried one of these spaghetti bolognese in Montanita, actually, um, I threw up. I threw my brains out shortly after. I have never tried Italian food again in Ecuador, and I don't think I will. When I see it, I just don't trust it. You know, I'm used to really good Italian food being from Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Chicago, all these places have a large Italian population. And we know our Italian food. My dad's Italian and Italian ancestry, and he cooked Italian my whole life. So as well, I know what good Italian is, and it's hard to find in Ecuador. If you do find it, recommend it below because it's rare. I don't trust it. Let's put it that way. Salads. A lot of salads in Ecuador. It's not why you think you shouldn't trust it because of the water, but they just love their lime and their salt. They'll salt up the salad. It's weird. So, I wouldn't just buy salads just anywhere from real local places either. Maybe from a more Western chain that knows how to do a good salad, I think it makes more sense. But you got to be a little careful on the salads or you might be disappointed by the salt or the lime they squeeze on it. Like it. Chicken soup, you probably want to stay away from in Ecuador because unless you're okay with seeing all of a sudden a foot start floating out of it, they put their chicken feet in soup. And if you're okay with just picking it out, then that's fine. But if that's something that might gross you out, then you might want to stay away. I know Ecuadorians, they'll just pick the feet out. I've watched them and just suck the skin off the toes of each chicken foot as they eat. Peanut butter, expats might say, oh, you can't find peanut butter in Ecuador. That's not true. Actually, in any corner store, you can find peanut butter locally made, but it's just not that good, right? It's more like a peanut paste, right? It's not like the Jif or the Skippy we're used to. You can find it, the Jif and stuff, in the Supermaxis here. It's like the Walmart Ecuador, but in the small stores, you don't want to trust it. It's not the same peanut butter that you've been eating your whole life, sweetened up and stuff. So something to think about. Homemade liquors, you want to be careful. If you live here a few years and follow the news a little bit like I do, just a little bit, then you'll see often stories of, 8 people dead in a field because they started drinking this homemade liquor here in Ecuador. I just don't know if the people here, they think they know how to do it, but I think a lot of them don't, right? And that's happened multiple times since I've lived here in Ecuador. So I wouldn't trust the homemade liquors down here in Ecuador. Just be careful about that. Cookies and brownies, more pastries, just not good in Ecuador. I don't know. They just haven't figured it out yet. Give them maybe 5-10 years, but they just know how to make a soft cookie. Right? You can find, and like a soft, moist brownie, it's often dry, like eating sand. Mashed potatoes even, often they'll switch it up when you buy those $3 almuerzos in the street or those plate lunches, and they'll have some mashed potatoes on there. I've also gotten sick from them, and I got a pretty strong stomach, I think. It's not like like they should be. They're real liquidy. And that's how they think you should make mashed potatoes down here, and it's really gross. Sausages, some like this in the States, man, amazing. I know the States does really good sausage. Even the sausage patties, and you have to give props when props are due. Even to a sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin, I mean, that sausage is really tasty, from old Burger King, McDonald's. But down here, there's not even sausage in the Burger King and the McDonald's, I've asked. I don't know why, but anyway, these sausages, I mean, you'll find the blood sausages in Ecuador that, in my opinion, are just kind of gross. Juices, you want to be a little careful with juices in Ecuador because, um, you know, whenever you ask, it always surprised me. Anyone instantly says yes, it's purified water, but they lie. A lot of people lie. So you want to keep that in mind, especially when you're eating at some of these cheap little restaurants down here in Ecuador. Before you order the juices, they may be using purified water, but often I've seen that they don't. So you just want to be careful. And they load up the sugar. I mean, they really, Ecuadorians, I don't know what it is. I've watched them. They just throw in that sugar, and you have to let them know, hey, light on the sugar or no sugar, or they'll just load it in there. That's how they like it, I guess. So, be careful about the sugar and the water when ordering juices down here in Ecuador. So anyway, I'm Mr. Second Passport. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button below, and the bell to be notified of more videos just like this. Don't worry, Ecuador food is the best in the world, in my opinion. But you have to know what to eat and what not to eat so you won't be disappointed